One of these days, I'm going to try and find the pattern as to why exactly sometimes the Go Live button comes up immediately, and why sometimes it just takes forever and a half. Well, I can fret over that another time, I suppose, because we've got plenty to see to. So, greetings everyone, I am Dr. J, and welcome back to our attempt to beat Riven, the sequel to Myst. So, to that end, last time we jumped into this, we ended up in a situation where I ended up hitting a combination of buttons that I suspect ended up causing me to either effectively Alt F4 out of the game. Thus far, I don't know why I'm not able to accept this right now. If I have to do something specific, maybe hook something up to the underside of that. I'm not entirely sure what exactly I need to do just yet, but still, what we're going to look at in order to get back into the swing of things is we're going to go over to that general area. I think that's where I need to go for something unique. Yeah. And we're going to double check something in order to ensure that I've got... Oh yeah, it's that hut over there. Let's see if I can navigate back over to that. Alright. I believe this will take me forward to where I need to go, and we'll see what happens. And while we're traveling along, I suppose I can see what chat's been up to. Yeah, you're letting me choose, huh? Good. I believe in order to get somewhere novel, I have to go this way, so off we go. So, hello Lou, how you doing? I've been told to wake up. Oh, Regal's awake, hello. For shits and giggles, you should try one of the Atari 2600 games. At some point, it might be worth checking out for Through the Looking Glass. Or go even further back and review a game from Magdabox, Bucks Odyssey, or just review Pong. I'd be curious to see if I could have anything novel to say about Pong is the thing. Because usually when I'm looking to review something, it's a matter of, okay, can I find something unique to say about this particular game? Yeah, looks like I went the wrong direction for what I had in mind. Let's turn ourselves around and try again. So what else is chat been up to? So, Regal, yep, Regal's awake, the world's ending, yep. You said wakey wakey, that and I have really bad sunburn, it's hard to sleep. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Alright, what else is chat been up to? I'll take your place, wait, okay, then Lou's just posting a quote of some sort. I have no idea what that's in reference to, so I'll leave that alone for now. Already quite lively. Much appreciated. How are you all doing tonight? It's been a good day for me. Saturdays are an interesting day for me because I don't have to worry about cleaning chores since the brother moved in. Instead, I use that as an excuse to effectively work on the house in general, try and work on stuff around the place. At least that's less routine, so it's always nice to do that for a change compared to, well, throwing all my effort at something else. Alright, so we are facing the direction I want to go. I must have just gone the incorrect direction for what I had in mind. Ever play Halo 2600? I'm not sure what that's referring to, Gilgamesh. I'm getting hit by the pure sun in the car. Sorry to hear that. A Halo demake for the 2600 made by a Halo dev. Now that sounds interesting. I'm trying to think of how... Well, demakes are always interesting when you're examining them, so I'd be curious to know how he tried to make it work. How would that work? Well, either way, let's see. What's over this way? Is this over to where I went in order to flip all the switches, or is this somewhere else? So, I guess that answers your question, Gilgamesh. I didn't even know that existed. Alright, is this the right location? Yes, it is. Excellent. So, last we delved into here, we weren't able to get anything interesting out of this necessarily, but, or basically anything interesting out of this since we don't recognize the script being used. And then if memory serves, this ended up just being effectively a projection in a foreign language, right?
Terekoi Dani, Kibayem Revat, Arroyem Betig Tavom, Gabodona Gayem.
The shape of that is very similar to what we saw back on the original island. I wonder if it would be worth doubling back there at some point. What else is Chapman up to? Spent yesterday and today moving stuff from my neighbor's crowded house out for a yard sale, and then baking in the sun, and then getting rained on, and then today moving everything back in. So you've been kept rather busy then, Regal, huh? Oh yeah, I should... While this is going, I should take note of the symbols that appear, right? Let me bring that page up real quick. I don't know what it'll probably screw up the video components, but... Although... So, I wonder how random it is, looking at this. Because we have the different symbols that appear, but so far as I can tell, there doesn't seem to be much of a rhyme or reason to what the symbols actually do. So I suspect that this is more aesthetic than anything else, looking at how that's presented. Because I don't think I'm allowed to click on this specifically, right? Doesn't look it. So my suspicion is that it's purely aesthetic for now. Why is the E on that? I wonder why the E on that is circled. Curious that. You guys hear the draft might be coming back? Technically it never left, but that's a different, well, that's a different story. Halo 2600 was written by Ed Fries, former vice president of game publishing at Microsoft, who was involved in Microsoft's acquisition of Halo developer Bungie. Alright, fair enough. That guy just said a Pokemon name? Wait, which one? Yeah, I did all that and my sister called me lazy because I didn't want to help her move something she was capable of moving herself. Yeah, but you're the man of the house, and so you're gonna be told that you need to help move stuff, so... Too bad. Alright, so that ended up being more aesthetic, I suspect. I wonder why the E on that was circled. Well, I guess to go to my notes real quick, I've got 3 questions in mind as for what we want to focus on. So, what's the combination required near the spawn point? If you'll recall, there was a point that earlier in the game where, and it looks like audio might be a little low. Well, might need to turn Riven a little lower looking at that. So, there was a point near the beginning of the game that seemingly required a combination of sorts. So, I'd be curious to know what exactly that has in store for us. I'm wondering if, based on the switches that were elsewhere, if we might be able to get more of a concrete answer, so... Oh, it said Garbodor? I'm pretty sure that's a coincidence, given that's what, Gen 6? 7? Oh wait, was Garbodor 8? I'm trying to remember. Actually, Playdate too. Let's see. Alright, so... Not too much that we can do for that. So... Still in... Oh, I ended up back here, huh? I wonder if there's... Part of me wonders... I feel like if I want to progress, I'm gonna have to get up there. I'm just trying to think of what would be required. It was Gen 5? Fair enough. Guess I'll run into that eventually when I find time for Unova. Some point between now and the heat death of the universe. So, problem is that I seem able to click on this, but I don't see any obvious... Well... I wonder if there's something that was supposed to be attached to that. Because looking at that over there, it looks like the intention is not for us to necessarily hang on to it directly, as it eventually leaves. And clicking around basically everywhere yields us nothing. So, most likely there's something that I need to extend outward. So I guess the question then is, how? Because there doesn't seem to be anything obvious I can put below it. Interesting. I'm allowed to turn this direction? Is that just because of... Oh wait, that's probably just to reorient. Although I wonder what would happen if I could get up there. Because I suspect that might be important for what this might have in mind. But I'm thinking what makes the most sense is that we double back to everywhere else we've been. See if we can learn anything more now that we've wandered around a bunch. So, let's get moving. Let's see. Pay more attention, Jade was memed as a lazy design. I remember it being memed as such, although I remember that Litwick and that evolutionary chain was given more grief. Let's see, what else is chat up to? 6 was my first intro to the games with X and Y, but Platinum's still my favorite. Yeah, Platinum's up there. I've got I've got my brother's copy of Emerald on the bookshelf behind me. I ended up with all the Game Boy stuff, so it's on display back there. Still my brother's save. I don't intend to overwrite it. Still. There we go. Back up. My first introduction to Pokemon was a Roblox game. I'm trying to think, what would your generation be called now, Lou? Alpha at this point? Because I think you're a little too young for Gen Z, but... I wonder if that has anything to do with anything. Is it possible to get down there and look out at the world, perhaps? Possibly? Well, I guess we can walk around a little bit just to reorient and figure out where we're supposed to be going and what we're supposed to be doing. So we've got the forest over here. We can travel through this way. Alright, so this leads back out. And then there was another route. I could take this way in order to go deeper in to this over here, which I don't know the significance of yet. Presumably it's more than just a showpiece, but it's hard to know at this point. Gen Z comes out next year, Jay. It didn't get released with X and Y. Okay, I'll grant you that pun, Regal. Fair enough. I sent an image, Jay. Check it. Later. Trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do at the moment. Let's see. I wonder if it'd be worth doubling back to where I began. Maybe? Let's see. Out of curiosity, has this symbol changed at all? Let me double check to make sure that was the original symbol. I doubt it would have changed, but... yeah, it hasn't. Okay. I just realized, was I in the wrong thing for a while? Yeah, probably. Hang on, are you not letting me back out? Well, letting me head back? There we go. That's what I thought. I waited so long to make that joke. I'm sure you have, Regal. Alright, let's double back to the original location, see if we can learn anything now that we've had a look around. Z is like the 90s to 2000s from what I've heard. That makes sense to me, although to some extent it's not necessarily the best distinction anyway as far as generations are concerned. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to, well, I don't know if necessarily grouping it by discrete years is all that useful because I'm on the borderline between Millennial and Gen Z, so I don't necessarily fit into either one of them. Because the way I describe myself is that I remember a time before the internet, but I don't remember a time before computers. Why did Jay not get GameCube games even though the Wii was backwards compatible with same? Because we didn't think to do so. Not much more complicated than that. Alright, so we got this way that we can walk back into. Hang on a minute. Interesting. So, I guess that's meant to be... I wonder when we're gonna meet the guy. So that's meant to be more of a display. Makes you wonder if I can do anything like that myself. Now, what's the direction that I came from? I know I came from... Didn't I come from somewhere in this room? Or am I misremembering? Because I'm pretty sure that was my way back, right? Can't get through there. Trying to remember when... How did I get here to begin with is the problem. Unless the way's sealed behind me, which is possible, I suppose. Trying to remember how I got here to begin with. I wonder if it'd be worth looking up my old footage to confirm. What was the... I could have sworn that this was connected to the entrance, unless... So that just leads back, right? Yeah, because that was what summoned the tram here. Or, I guess, rail car. Rail pod? Yeah, probably more accurate. Ah, here we are. Tucked away, but accessible. I remember when Jay committed heresy. I have done no such thing. Yeah, because we've got this over here, which I suspect is meant to be a lecture place, given the circumstances. So there's the entrance as we've seen. So that hasn't changed all that much. Remind me what the other entrance was? Okay, that's just the pod area. Interesting that he'd have those under surveillance specifically. Don't you try and gaslight me, Gilgamesh. That's not gonna work. So it seems that there's some sort of vibration sound when I do that. Problem is, it doesn't seem like there's anything I can click on while it goes on. So unless I'm supposed to just leave it here for a while, although it does give me an excuse to go check up on chat, I suppose. Let me pull it up real quick. Let's see. Alpha is 2010 on? Yeah. Let's see. I swear if I was Gen Alpha, I would have burned half of LA to the ground. Oh boy. Let's see. Jay needs to review EverQuest or RuneScape. I don't know if it would make sense to try and even think of tackling... Okay, so the noise goes away when I do that. But it... I wonder what I'm supposed to do with this. Alright, so nothing too useful from there at the moment. Actually, did I ever explore down this way? Okay, this was just more a scenic view by the looks. Interesting, so... Presumably there's a point where I could find a key in order to unlock that, huh? Or perhaps it'll unlock later. Perhaps that's one of the overarching goals. They did give me an inventory this time, so presumably I should have the ability to eventually get where I need to. Alright, so... Actually, let's see. What does my notes say about this? Well, let me mess with my arrangement real quick. Let's see, what did my notes say about this particular one? Oh, don't lose the stylus. You're gonna need that for your drawing tablet. Okay. Let's see, so what direction were the switches flipped? Alright, so... Alright, let's try that then. No, open the right thing, dang it. Okay. So... Whoops, I messed it up. I mean, if I tried hard enough and just clicked randomly, maybe I could get it, but still. Shame I don't have an easy way to clean that off. Unless I'm supposed to get... Hang on. Where's that pipe go to? Perhaps if I directed water here, maybe? It's possible. Looking at that, maybe that's what I have to do. Let's see if I can find where that pipe leads out from. Shame I can't read any of those. Doesn't look like I have a clear image as to where the pipe leads out from. But I'm wondering if it might be connected to that other point with the minecart, perhaps. Possibly? Although it'd be hard to say at this point. Still, I suspect that if I want... Still, I suspect if I want this to work properly... It's possible? There's a lot of possible ways that this could end up being interesting. Although, I wonder what would happen if I had that be... I don't think it would matter too much if that were the entrance, because these were just lookouts for... Yeah, that was just the guy that we're here to trap mythologizing himself, so far as I can tell. Shame I don't have an easy way of... Interesting. What makes the most sense for this one? Well, don't think I necessarily have enough information to work with there. Whoops, didn't mean to close that. Alright, open up. Well, looks like I'm not going to be able to get too much more here for the moment. Probably best off just trying to figure out what I'm supposed to do elsewhere then. I feel like I'm missing something really basic, but I'm not sure what. It feels like I should be able to either collect something in order to access... Well, it feels like I should be able to collect something that I can put into an inventory, given that they've already got the book, or at least the journal, that I can look at. So presumably, there should be something else I can pick up somewhere along the line. And it looks like chat has just resorted to spamming shenanigans, so I'm just gonna ignore them. I'm gonna pretend to be that meme where that sign can't stop me because I can't read. That's my excuse. You silly peoples. I wonder what that's supposed to do. Doesn't seem like whatever it is, it's working properly, to be fair. I gotta let the cutscene play since I'm going this direction. Mine's not a shenanigan, if you insist, Regal. Although it depends on if you consider your conditions shenanigans. Technically shenanigans, but never mind me. Trying to remember if there was anything of import through this way. Pretty sure not, right? Oh! Interesting. Hang on a sec, I need to write that down. Let me see it again. Alright, got it. Let me make sure I got it correct. Cool. Alright, let's get back in there. So we've got 3 of them that we've seen so far. I wonder where the remainder are, and what import they'll end up having. Oh yeah, that again. That always sounds when I pass through here. Oh wait, there's someone waving in there. How did I just now notice that? So is that effectively a lookout post? Looks like it. I wonder if it was originally intended as such or repurposed as such. Could be either one so far as we know. Alright, so that one we picked up. I wonder where the other of those eyeballs is located. Because let's see, we had this. That doesn't change the noise that we get from there. Can't click it again. Hang on, did I miss something real quick? No, I don't think that symbol has anything to do with anything. Alright, so I can't go this way because because the pod isn't over here. I wonder what significance this has. Because it looks like it should flow in from this direction as well. I'm just not sure what effect it's supposed to have. Am I supposed to fill it up and then go mess with what's over there, perhaps? It's possible. It looks like it might be one of the eyeballs up there, but... Hard to say. Well, let me think. Let's see if I can walk around back to that location. Should be able to, right? I don't see why not, anyway. Another one of those lookout posts. Alright, so this is where I left the pod behind before. So I think what we'll do first is we'll double back over that way. Make sure that everything is good to go with where everything's positioned. So I think for what I want, I need to go this way. Let's find out. Do I even want to know what you guys are talking about in chat? Oh, man. Are you guys talking about weird Pokemon manga again? The fact that I can even say again probably tells me all I need to know. Alright, did this take me where I wanted to go? Let's find out. What was that sound? Was that just the... Was that just the pod closing behind me? That's what would make sense to me, anyway. Yeah, it looks like that's meant to hook onto something, but... hard to say what. Yeah, and it just goes away after a few seconds. Okay, still no luck there. I wonder. Remind me. If I turn myself around... Let's see, so that leads off into the lecture hall. That leads back to where I've been. Alright, I needed to move this in order to turn around, right? Yep. And then this to change my orientation. If I want to go double check something over this way. I wonder if there's something that I missed through there. I guess while that goes, I can refill my Nalgene real quick. Be right back. Alright, that should be full enough. Okay. That was probably loud. I apologize if it was. Okay. No. Okay, so this is where we go for modifying these. Which, thus far, I have no reason not to have them wholly extended. I wonder if it makes sense to try and get rid of some of the extensions. Because we've got entrance number 1 over here that can take us to the village. This one that that we dropped off that I can use over there. A lecture hall, and then where I think I'm supposed to go, which is over here. What kind of effect does this have on the scenery? Yeah, it just retracts that. And it doesn't seem that there's much that I can do over there either. So I see no reason why I should have any one of these down, given the circumstances. Right? Because that just retracts that over there and makes it inaccessible, broadly speaking. Did that change the orientation of that over there, perhaps? Hang on a minute. Why is there that random patch of open air there? Is that always there? It is. How do I reach it? Let's see, it's hard to tell based on this. Looks like there might be something in... Well, I wonder if there are points of interest based on... Well, that's interesting. So there are points where... Let me think. Yeah, I know you guys are being cheeky in chat. I'm focused right now. Unfortunately, the dudes are outside, so Cheeto cannot interfere right now. Let me think. Is it possible to get over in that center area? And if I could, would that yield me anything? Looking at things right now, it doesn't look like there's an easy way to get over to that. Because that's the split point over there. And there's another one, because one just splits off that way, that one just splits off that way. And we've got this over here, which I'm pretty sure connects over this way. Although, weird that there's no obvious... Well, it's hard to tell if there's an obvious spot where you can service over there. I think I've done every permutation is the problem. She must like ignoring us. I mean, you make it so easy. I mean, you make it amusing to ignore you because then you go into, well, and because then you say sillier things. So, where's the lie? All right, so where's the point where it's distorted? Yeah, it seems to be adjacent to it more so than anything else. Let me think. Already been here for half an hour and have made zero progress. Cheers! I'm most of the way through my drink, so it's gonna be a fun night. That's why you keep hearing thuds every once in a while. I think it's mainly because of this time of game it's hard for him to reach out when trying to solve the puzzles. Yeah, and that's part of the problem, is that right now, my only chat window really is a smaller window in OBS because of how I have to set it up, because this is a game where I have to full screen it, so I don't necessarily have the luxury to pay attention to chat as much as I might want to, so... The more Jay ignores us, the more cringe he gets? In your opinion, maybe. Let's see. I feel like I do need to get up there, but I don't have a clear objective on how to get up there yet. Well, that seems to have been left alone. I feel like this is trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure what. Looks like that is there anything of interest if I go over that way? Jay, you did make things progress because you saw that one thing? Perhaps, but I don't know if that's necessarily pertinent to the current circumstances or important in any way. That's the problem. Alright, so if I want to go back over to that over there, which I already know that that's not going to yield me anything of import yet. Who's more cringe, Zeke or the cast of Fire Emblem Engage? Is that even a question? If you have an entire cast versus a single person, of course, regardless of how cringe, even if everybody was only slightly cringe, they'd outweigh Zeke, but the most cringe member of the Engage cast, yeah, much more. I'm going to be thinking about that game a lot for the next few months. It's going to be fun. To some extent, anyway. Let's see. It doesn't look like I have an easy way to reach that right now. Remind me, there was nothing of import in the village now that I've lowered the odd here. Yeah, that's not going to yield me anything. Able to travel through here. And this was the point where I could lower the pod. And since that's already been seen to... Yeah, it doesn't look like there's too much I can deal with here. Probably best off to take the minecart back over to the other location. Perhaps I can find something out if I head over that way, perhaps. This is where I find out that I need to right-click on stuff, right? Probably. Alright, let's head back over to where this minecart takes us and see if we get anything interesting. Engage your fates more cringe? I haven't seen enough of fates to make that call. We're talking about Xenoblade 2, Regal. That's who... Well, Gilgamesh is referring to a character from that game. Arja's kind of creepy. I haven't seen enough of her to make a judgment call. I want to see why she's like that. Is it just blanket obsession or something more? Alrighty. I wonder if I'm able to get into that house over there. Why are the rings orange? Because 1997. Need I say more? Alrighty, so reorient ourselves. See, we've got the pipes over that way. Go down through here. I believe we've already seen to everything we need to in the boiler room. Oh, got turned around. So, the other question I had was regarding this. So we had left this down for a while, by the looks of it. And that seems to have yielded nothing right now. Unless I'm supposed to close it, perhaps, but I doubt that's what I'm supposed to do. So we've got this over here that they're making a big deal out of. And I've got a note written down to ask about why there's that strangeness. Because if I look out, it looks like there's the pathway over there. Let's see. I wonder. Is the fan at all concerned with whether or not the flames are on over here? That just lowers the water, right? No, that takes away the flame. Okay. Remind me what this does? Alright, that redirects that way. I'm trying to remember if that has any import. Because right now it looks like it's just a red herring. Can I look up? Alright, so that only controls that. Is it possible to slip through that area, perhaps? Remind me what this allows me to mess with? Okay, so those are the control points. So I've got it directed toward that at the moment. So that's presumably where water's flowing from. Let me think. So presumably water's flowing from that direction. Unless... Because that just allowed me to set the water levels here, right? No, that just allowed me to modify that, huh? I'm trying to remember if there was anything special I needed to do for that section. Maybe? Remind me what it looks like through here? Okay, so this was the pathway that I... So, when it's not full of water, this was the pathway I could take outside. Which allowed me to which allowed me to explore elsewhere to begin with. Remind me what this does? Oh, right, that drains the water off. Remind me where this dumps us out at? Alright, so it puts us partially through the pipe. So it looks like this is only one route then. Okay. Remind me, this puts us out at... up here, right. This is how we got to this point initially, so that we could lower this down. Okay. Part of me is tempted to look up a guide, but I feel like that would be... Well, I feel like there's something obvious I'm missing. I feel like there's something very obvious I'm missing, and I'm not sure what right now. Right now, this is going to do nothing, right? Yep. This is still active, though. It feels like there is something fundamental that I am missing among all this. But I'm not sure what. Yeah. I don't know, maybe the brother might have some insight. Yeah, I'm not gonna bother him yet. I don't feel the need to invoke the power of weaponized autism just yet. Let's see, we've got that if we want to send it to the grinder. Interesting that we can't redirect the water in that direction. That looks like it's just shade, most likely. Because it looks like if I could get to the walkway through there, I might be able to get more insight into what I'm supposed to do. And I think in order to get to that walkway, I need to handle something back at the other island. I'm just not sure what I'm missing at this point. And that's not going to do anything because I haven't redirected the water here. Well, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I'm missing something obvious. I just wish I knew what the obvious thing was. What am I missing? Alright, so this brings us back over here. Well, let me think. When do I want to bust out? The problem is, it feels like I'm missing something obvious. And I'm not sure what that obvious thing is. Wish they went with a more conventional art style so this world wouldn't be cursed. I'm not sure if you're referring to what was said by Gilgamesh about the Donkey Kong Country nonsense, or if you're talking about this game. Wonder if I can get into the village without being spotted by one of those. Perhaps that's what I need to do. I need to figure out how to get into the village without getting spotted by that guy. It's possible. Have you ever tried holding a lever? There isn't one of those that I can reasonably hold. Believe me, I've tried. Yeah. Obviously missing something. Just not sure what. Hang on a minute. Up above. Is it possible to raise the water level? See that over there? Is it possible to raise the water level? Because looking at that, it looks like there should be a way, or at least was a way, in order to get up there. But if there was, any railing system has been lost. Or perhaps, looks like that's what was connected up there, if not, or at least in part. Interesting. Wish I was able to get into there. Confirm my concerns. Well, we'll give it another 5 minutes and then I'll look something up. Alright, so that's where we initially touched the pod down. Doesn't look like that's reachable. Is there something I'm missing? I should have known League of Legends would come up if I searched that term. Yeah, it looks like a... Hang on, did I miss something obvious? Hang on. It can't be that simple, can it? Okay, what? Okay, you know what? I need to demonstrate just how ridiculous this is if it's actually true. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a bloody minute. There's no way. There's no way it's that simple. No way it's that simple. I refuse. No. This is where the game just tells me that it's a real video game and not just some nonsense. Hang on. You'll understand once we get there. If this were a Let's Play, I would have just skipped to it by now. Maybe I should have done this as a Let's Play. So how's it going, boys? It's turning a lever, isn't it? No, it might be even simpler than that, Regal. That's what's silly. Once we hit a stopping point, I'll open the gun. Well, I'll open the guide back up because then I'll know that it won't interrupt me. Alright, that should be fine. Alright, so let's make sure I understand. Observe what I need to do. There is a... Ah, damn it. I'm stuck in a cutscene now. Hang on. At least it won't put me in a cutscene just so I have... Well, just to get back out of that, I suppose. Gonna go up here. No, that's not what I wanted to do. Damn it. I was supposed to shut them behind me, which allows me to explore elsewhere. Okay, mark that as one thing that I had to go looking up. I better just make a page of stuff I had to look up real quick. Give me a sec. Actually, I'll show it off real quick. Yeah, that's how I know I've been drinking. I'm in too much of a hurry and my handwriting's getting sloppy. I wonder what that symbol's supposed to be for. Thus far, I don't have anything to latch onto here. What about this way? Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is how I get up to this spot. So we have access to two things now. Huh. And observe, well, what looks to be a telescope of some sort. And then let's check over the closer spot first. Alright, not allowed in there. Who is the most cringe character in Engage? Bonet, and it's not even close. Well, okay. Close second, Tamara. Okay, that's interesting. Wonder why you're not cooperating. Hang on. What if I flip this again? Next question. I wondered why they were making a big deal out of this. Hello. Okay, 82. Alright, something to read. Nice. The latest ink formulation has proven a failure. Even when writing in my most promising books, I obtain only the barest glimmer of a connection. It is frustrating to expend so much effort creating a blank book, only to end up destroying it when it doesn't work. There are days where the lab is uncomfortably warm from the flames of the failed attempts. The further I refine each element, the formulations of the inks and papers, the physical dimensions of the books, the more I realize that the list of potential combinations is nearly infinite. It is during moments like this that I despair. Without access to Donnie, my long-term goals may never be accomplished. Nevertheless, there are avenues of research which remain to be explored. Few days later. I am discontinuing regular observations of the stars beneath the fissure. Although I've been able to track the dark cloud-like formations that migrate through the star field, and have proven that their paths are cyclical, without proper instrumentation, it is pointless to continue. My general theory concerning the nature of the fissure has remained unaltered since it first appeared. It seems that the fabric of this age has been breached in a way that permits matter to be hospitably exchanged between two discrete but overlapping spaces, much like a link, though the apparent physical contradictions surrounding this juncture defy logical reason. The great column of wind that was formed when the fissure first appeared suggests a vacuum as one might expect in space, yet my early experimentations revealed the presence of a breathable atmosphere. That Atris and Catherine threw themselves into the void is further evidence that it might be safe to travel, but without knowing its true nature, I cannot take this risk myself. It is also difficult to say what would happen if I were to reopen it after so long, but it is likely that the results would be catastrophic, given the changes that have occurred in this age since that time. Maintenance of the stream vents end caps completed. Fair enough. I am extremely pleased with the continued success of this system. I believe the construction to have been that true to the Donnie designs in my memory, another example of the superiority of the Donnie technology. It's ironic that Atris and Catherine unwittingly provided me with such a convenient source of power. Oh, was there any more that I could see to? Should probably check real quick. There we are. As with many of my views over the years, my thoughts regarding the origin of the fissure have changed. I have recently begun to wonder whether it was actually an unexpected byproduct of the changes Catherine and Atris wrote into this age during their escape. Certainly by casting their linking book into the void, they trapped me here, quite effectively. But I do not believe that Atris intended the book to be lost in this manner. Much better to destroy it than to risk the possibility of it falling into unknown hands. Also, had they foreseen the creation of the fissure, they would surely have thought that the vacuum it created would eventually consume the atmosphere of this planet, a fate which Catherine undoubtedly would have deemed unacceptable for her homeworld. If I had not been there to supervise the construction of the seal, this is most certainly what would have happened, for the villagers were far too frightened to even approach the vortex without my urging. I held on to the belief that it was an unintended consequence of their writing for another reason as well. I prefer to think that my son had meant for this age to be merely a prison for me, rather than a death sentence. The construction of the imagers has proceeded without fault. It is interesting to see how easily I've been able to adapt the Donnie technology to mimic that of the Ahmad. In some ways, the similarities between their two cultures was striking. I wonder if perhaps there had been communications or commerce between the two cultures in earlier times. Maybe Kita's people were even descendants of the Donnie. It pleases me to think so. Note, it's possible that if I were somehow able to supply the books with a power source of sufficient magnitude, I could suppress the variance enough to facilitate a solid link. It is doubtful that the geothermal cap generators could provide such an enormous surge. Perhaps I could adopt the fire marbles. Whatever the fire marbles are. I have been cataloging the quote natural elements of this age for nearly 30 years now, yet still I continue to find evidence of the Donnie's preoccupation with 5. As a boy, it was very clear to me that the number 5 had a special significance to the Donnie society. From the ancient heraldic emblems of the ruling elites to the humble homes of the commoners, it was ubiquitous. Its presence here is obviously a direct reflection of the minds that designed the texts that I used to compose this age. Further proof that through their art, the Donnie masters were indeed creating the marvelous worlds they wrote, and not, as many have mistakenly thought, merely building links to pre-existing worlds. While most of my constructions have been based on Donnie designs, I see now that the ones that I have imbued with the power of 5 as clearly the most beautiful, the more perfect, and I believe the most structurally sound. I am still attempting to determine how the Donnie color symbology reflected this superior design principle. Although superficially it is based on a 6-color system, I was convinced that there has to be a design connected to the 5. I will continue to investigate. I wonder if it's worth writing down those symbols at all. Maybe? Yeah, I may as well real quick. Give me a second to... Let's see. Let me write that down real quick. Alright. So, we've got 6 circles. And then... Alright, let's see. Got that. Got a straight line. Got more of a cat's eye. I wonder how important all of these will be. I've finally made a breakthrough. I have succeeded in modifying the fire marbles to generate enough power to hold a descriptive linking book in a stable matrix. I have linked it to a new world. It is a harsh and desolate age, but it is nonetheless well suited for my purpose, and I have designated it my oh, those must be numbers then, huh? I better write all that down, because I wonder if this is meant to be some sort of numeric system then. The fact that it's perhaps counting down, maybe. That would make the most sense at this point. Let me go ahead and write that down real quick as another thing to keep track of. Okay, so we've got... I wonder if it's meant to be, effectively, this world's version of Roman numerals. That would make the most sense to me. Alright, let's see. And then we've got a line going through that part. And then... there we go. Let me make a note of that. There we go. By studying it closely, I believe I will eventually be able to create a more appropriate age for us to resettle on. For now, I will build an office and set up my living quarters there, in order that I may conduct my experiments in safety and without destruction. I must admit that I am proud of my work. To think that in such primitive conditions I have accomplished in 29 years what it took the original Donnie centuries to achieve. Note, repair outerwear for work on this world. The goggles may need to be redesigned altogether. I have begun construction on a series of link sites for each island that will connect Riven with my new office. The Survey Guild have finally completed the site location for each island. According to my exact specifications, an installation of the domes is underway at last. Work on the central power source got off to a bit of a bad start, I'm afraid, but the pace has picked up considerably since then, and I anticipate no further delays. I'm looking forward to finally having a civilized mode of transportation. Interesting. I wonder if that symbol will have any use. So, wonder if it'd be worth sketching that out. And may as well just be on the safe side. Alright, so we've got one circle there, smaller circle in the center. And then... okay, and then a smaller square there. An L-shaped Tetris block. Alright, that should do for my sketching. Due to the rebels' continued disturbances, I've decided to install a coded access system into all the domes. Ooh. So presumably, if I am to access it, I have to find those then, huh? Guess we'll find out. Starting to run out of room on this. I might have to change things up. Let's see, so we'll write that down. Okay, yeah, I'm running out of room on this area. Okay, let's... might need to move this to its own place, but I can do that offline. Okay, actually, zoom in a little bit so you can be a bit more precise. You can. Okay, what do we got? Then, so, through the center... I'm having to alt-tab in and out in order to get this, so it might take me a bit longer than I'd like, but... alright. That'll be interesting. Yeah, that'll help me cordon off that section. Okay. I caught one of my assistants looking over this journal today. I'm glad I've chosen to write it in a language they cannot decipher. Note, discuss security with each guildmaster. No problems expected from the maintenance, educators, and surveyors. questioned the bookmakers and builders more closely. Today I heard several more reports of spirit sightings by some of the villagers. It seems that under Catherine's leadership, the rebels on the Black Moriarty, as the villagers obstinately insist on referring to them, have obtained a new level of sophistication in their terror tactics, and have renewed their campaign to intimidate the villagers into joining them, playing upon their shared superstitions. The villagers are certainly susceptible to this form of coercion, specifically given of late the rebels' increasing act of vandalism and theft. The tram traps have been steadily fruitful this year. Apparently the breakup of the islands has not adversely affected the subterranean ecosystems. Unfortunately, I imagine the rebels are experiencing a similarly generous harvest, no shortage of poison for their darts this season. Such morbid issues aside, the sudden availability has allowed me to refine a particularly pleasant extract from my pipe, one that is smoother than any of the others from recent years. Chemical analysis of one of the rebel knives has yielded curious results. Its composition contains elements that are unlike anything I've encountered on the islands. It appears they have access to a resource of which I am unaware, perhaps a mine on an uncharted island. Note, most of the knives have been found on the south side of the village. This is the same area in which there have been reports of people mysteriously disappearing. I think a closer inspection of the area is warranted. The fact that they leave these distinctive knives as a sign of their presence concerns me. They're growing more bold, and seem to no longer fear discovery of their hideout. Now let's go ahead and get this down as a sketch. Didn't expect to be returning to drawing so soon when I've still got... Well, to be fair, planning on getting back to the Pillars of Eternity stuff at the start of, not this upcoming week, but next week, so... Alrighty. The latest measurements indicate that the recent trend has continued. The movement of the islands has slowed tremendously. My perilous estimates predicted a total collapse in approximately 3 months, but with the new figures, I am uncertain. I have nearly finished writing the current age, the insert age, and I have every faith that it will indeed be a safe place for us to relocate to. Yet it would be helpful to know what has caused the halt in this age's breakup. Is it possible that it's stable after all? If so, I must discover how this age differs from my less successful attempts. My examinations of the other age have thus far proven inconclusive. Or perhaps someone is repairing the damage to the 5th age? If so, it would almost certainly be Atris's doing. I have reluctantly decided to abandon my experiments into the behavior of the water of this age, as there are more pressing matters on which I must now concentrate, leaving me little time for such speculative research. For future reference, however, my investigations up to this point have revealed the following. I believe the remarkable properties of the water to be caused by a life form that resides in it, specifically a type of bacteria. I am imagining a modal unicellular organism, but one with structures capable of holding bits of water, whose combined effect, via surface tension or stronger force perhaps, cause the composite body of water to move in response to heat. Prolonged exposure to extreme heat, for example, a period of extended boiling, seems to kill the bacteria, which would explain its dramatic aversion to heat sources. Unfortunately, these theories are not fully tested, and I remain ignorant both of its deeper nature and its possible uses. An exciting development. Last night, a squad of maintenance stumbled upon a lone rebel scout and obtained from him a most incredible device. It is a crystal that somehow powers those flawed linking books, much as my own system does, but with an obvious advantage. It is small and weighs only a few pounds, making it completely portable. Catherine must have fabricated the device before I captured her, obviously with an explicit Donnie schematic she must have brought with her to this age. If only I'd had access to such a document all these years. Regardless, I can now concentrate solely on the writing of ages, and need no longer worry about building elaborate power supplies for each new book I write. This is a sobering reminder, however, that I must continue to seek an avenue to Donnie. Regaining access to the resources there may be crucial to the completion of my mission. Alright, I guess that's what I'll have to worry about then, huh? Alright, so this must have been a laboratory of sorts for him. Wonder what all this stuff on the desk might be pointing to. Ooh. Last week, while monitoring the situation of the villagers from the scope in my survey room, I observed one of the natives swim out to a small object that appeared to be floating, but anchored near the entrance to the bay. I ordered the object removed from the water for inspection. Several days later, however, I was surprised to see another floating there. The missing object had apparently, and quite mysteriously, been replaced with a new one overnight. I've long been aware of the existence of similar artifacts on the villagers' island, but have paid little notice of them until now. Tomorrow, I shall send surveyors to catalog the others. Okay, so that explains what those are, perhaps, but doesn't necessarily tell me a whole lot. Mechanical press. What can I find through here? Wonder if that's the process of creating a linking book. It's possible. Or the writing of an age, perhaps. A variety of eggs. That's the only one I can open as of now. Curious. Alright, some frogs in some substance. Huh, one of the traps. Curious, that. Alright, so that leads back outside. So I've got easy access back into here now, presumably. Guess we'll find out. But then we've got this out here that I can check out, huh? Another pod. I wonder where this one takes us. Because my suspicion is that I'm not going to be able to get into the observatory yet. At least that would be my assumption. Whoops. So if I'm not able to get into the... Well, let's double check anyway. I suspect that I need to engage in some sort of effort in order to ensure that I can get into the observatory, but... Alright, real quick. Alright, I can get back through that way. Good. At least they're making it easier to get through once I've gotten through at least a specific point. Okay, then. So I guess this was his main laboratory before everything. Presumably... Oh! Oh, right. So I'm not able to get through here just yet. But I wonder if that rail pod might have something for us. Possibly. I guess we'll find out, won't we? For now, I suppose we can get onto the rail pod and figure out where this leads us. We know how it works at this point, so should be easy enough to press ahead and see what lingers in a different direction. Alright, let's see where this takes us. Not far at all by the looks of it. Wonder if I'm allowed to go out on either side. Guess we'll find out. I guess I am allowed to go up both sides. Alright, so... Oh. Not allowed to go out the other side right now. Interesting. I guess we'll find out why before too long. Alright, let's look around. Hello. I wonder what's supposed to be below us. I guess we'll find out before too long, won't we? I wonder how much of this is artificial and how much of it's... Well, not art... Well, natural, I guess? Well, to be fair, based on how things have been described by... Well, based on how things have been described by the one trapped here, part of me wonders if anything here is technically... Well, not... Well, if anything here isn't artificial. Aw, interesting. Hang on a minute. Could I inadvertently influence... Wonder... Hang on a minute. Oh, wait a minute. Interesting. These are the... Hang on a sec. Let me pull up my notes real quick. Because these are the same symbols that appeared around... Well, if you look at this, these are the same symbols that appeared on the notebook. I wonder if I can associate a particular... Interesting. Wonder if I can use this. Am I able to have more than one clicked on at once? So am I allowed to have... Well, yes, am I allowed to have more than one clicked on at once? No. Interesting. And so that has an effect on the water for a particular area. Presumably, anyway. I wonder what... So, if we're treating that as basically the islands, I wonder what kind of effect that'll have. Oh, there's more this way, too. We can get a topographical map as well. I get the feeling that this is going to get very complicated if I'm not careful. Oh, another one of these. Only I don't seem able to walk towards this one. Interesting. I wonder what I'm supposed to be getting from this. So, real quick, if I go over here and click, say, this one, for instance, because this looks like it's the island that I was on most recently, if I had to guess. Because I'm suspected that hole in the center is likely in reference to the pseudo lake that exists over by the boiler. Still, I don't know if this is purely aesthetic or if it might have some other effect elsewhere. It's hard to know for certain. Still. Alright, so that allows me to bring up another topographical map, presumably. Yep. Yeah, it'll even allow me to rotate it, huh? This could get... I wonder how much of this is... I wonder how much of this is strictly necessary for what I need to worry about. Interesting. Is there any particular one that I want to keep on for now? Actually, is there any island in this area that this... This is most likely the island we're currently on, right? I'm wondering what kind of effect this might have. Getting there, I think. So that one's active at the moment. Let's see if my theory's correct. Yes, this is the island we're currently on. Okay, so that is more auxiliary then. So now that I've got it directed toward this island, I wonder if there's anything special change it. No, there isn't at the moment. We've got another of the rotating... Is this what people meant by the incomprehensible marble puzzle? I guess we'll find out. So that was the rail that we took in. I may as well hit this one and return... Well... I'm trying to think of what would make the most sense to hit. Or if this even has an effect, more to the point. May as well find out it real quick and see if it makes a difference. If so, great. If not, might have to work a little harder. Let's see. Although there is another rail over that way, so... Actually, if that's the observatory over there... Do I need to activate that one instead? In order to activate that specific observatory? Yeah, that seems possible, actually. Let's activate this one and then go check it out. What's up?
Trying to remember if it was this game that had some plesiosaurs on the beach or not.
I think this one does. I do remember having to get past them. Still, just trying to puzzle my way through this. I've already had to look something up because apparently closing the doors opened up a couple other paths, which I'm very miffed about still, but never mind me. So this will presumably take us back down. Yeesh. Now, if I head over to the observatory... Let's see if that makes a difference. Kinda wish I could get in there, but... Doesn't look like they're gonna let me right now. Unless... Dumb question, if I turn this around but don't actually walk through... Am I going to be allowed to go over to that other side? I can. Actually, I haven't saved in a while. Let's do that. Is there anything of interest down here? This is all I'm being given to look at for now, huh? What'd this do? Should I be nervous? That's random. Okay. So, where's this gonna take us? Alright, so this will lower us back into the liquid, whatever this liquid is. Most likely just ordinary water, but still. Huh. Interesting. So where's this gonna take us? Oh. Wait, were you the guy who ran off with the trap book? Huh. Interesting. So this is where I was supposed to go then, huh? Alright then. I guess objective number 1 would be to get that back, so... I'm effectively trapped over on this side then, huh? So be it. Oh. Another one of these. Oh. What'd this do? Hang on. Hang on. Whoever that was isn't there anymore. I wonder if that was supposed to be Catherine. Good chance of it, actually. I wonder if this is meant to be Catherine's cell. If so, it makes you wonder where she's hiding. Perhaps she'd have some knowledge as to how I'm supposed to proceed. Most likely, anyway. Anything more? It's probably just her wandering around, right? Hang on, that's a different person. Oh, no, it's just her putting on a jacket. Okay, that must technically be the start of the scene, huh? Or at least a part of it. Alright, I guess that makes sense. What about the other one? Does the other one have anything of interest? Interesting. So that was the 5th pattern listed here. Let's see. Hang on. Did that have... Was that making specific noise? Hello. Huh. Interesting. It still hasn't given me control yet. Oh, there it goes. Fascinating. So that was from number 1. Yes, Regal, it definitely is from the book. So that was number 1 that we just hit. Let's see what happens when I hit number 2. That did give us noise, but... Let's go in order that they appeared in the book. No discernible difference then. I wonder if there's a different order that was intended. Although... Interesting. No noise from that one, though. So that one looks like it's broken off entirely. Interesting. Should probably make a separate page for this real quick. Alright, let's see. Putting the pizza up, or... Yeah, I should have done it before the stream started. I'll be done soon. Let's see.
I'll take care of the drain train.
Let's see. Heck. Well, So remind me, let me go back to the page where I've got the journal entry, at least the page of my notes. Okay, so it was this one. So, This was the one... Actually, wait, no, it was this one that summoned the... Well, no, it wasn't. It was the one with the line through the eye. This was the one that summoned the creature. And then there were two others. I wonder... Is there something specific I need to do with these creatures, I wonder? Or what if I go in order instead of... That didn't do anything. I think it was every other one that had some sort of noise associated with it. It seems to be approaching from a different direction every time I hit it. I wonder if it's just because it's being enticed to go to a specific spot by virtue of... It's possible. It seems to be getting enticed to come back here. Oh, geez. Alright, that's amusing. So it doesn't seem to like what I'm doing, huh? I'm gonna need to think about this more, aren't I? Let's withdraw it for now. Is there anything more that I want to try and do tonight? Probably not at the moment. Maybe some colors correlate to different locations? It's possible. Still, I suspect this is where I should call it for now, since that I'm running out of ideas, and should probably just let this stew overnight as far as I'm concerned. So, I guess on that note, we'll go ahead and call it there. So, before I inevitably see to everything in chat, two quick announcements that I made in the prior stream, but should probably make over here just to make sure everyone's on the same page. So, announcement number one, I'm going to be making a change in the Let's Play schedule. This short version is that I'm nearing the end of editing for the Valkyria Chronicles 4 Let's Play. I've been putting in a lot of effort to try and get that sorted so that I can just work on other stuff. And it ended up being serendipitous, as my original plan was to start playing through something else, but then I decided to also pivot to just sort out what I need to for Fire Emblem Engage. So, I'm going to be working on that for a while, so probably for the best then that I've decided to increase the number of days that there will be Let's Play content in order to finish off the Valkyria Chronicles 4 stuff. So I'm going to be doubling up on that starting Tuesday this upcoming week in order to get that done by some point in October of this year. So that's the plan as of right now in order to burn that down faster. Everything else should be pretty much the same. We'll have plenty to worry about as far as Xenoblade for the foreseeable future. We'll continue playing Golden Sun on Fridays and this game on Saturdays, as well as whatever I choose to replace this game with, and should be a grand old time all around. So that's one thing. The other thing is that this upcoming Friday stream is not going to be done over here. It's going to be done over at the review channel. Every 6 months over on the review channel, since that I don't upload weekly or daily or anything of the sort, since it's much more ad hoc when I have a review ready. Every 6 months on the review channel, I like to take stock as to how things are going and give an update there as to what they can broadly expect going forward. So I'm going to be doing that update Friday evening this upcoming week. I'm hoping to have the Myst review done then, so I have something to show for my efforts. I'd be surprised if I weren't able to get it done then, though I suppose time will tell as to how that ends up working out. Still, should be a grand old time there. It does mean I won't be streaming over here, because I don't want to thrash my voice too much and worry too much about trying to do a bunch of streaming in one night, so it's going to be a bit of an on-schedule by virtue of that, but still, should be well, should be back to a new normal as of a couple of weeks from now, where we will be returning to Golden Sun. At least that's the plan. So, that in mind, those are the two updates. We're going to be putting up more Let's Play content to get the Valkyria Chronicles 4 stuff done. And then the Friday stream next week is going to be taking place over at the review channel to give an update there. So, let's go ahead and look through everything in chat that I had missed, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. I find it funny that my sister went to hang out with her friends while I was down in the bloody mines for 48 hours. That must have been corollary to you having to go and work. Let's see. And then, oh yeah, I should probably look at that image, huh? Should I be concerned? Oh, that's what you mean by the Halo 2600 DMEG. Alright, fair enough. I'm assuming that's what you meant. Oh yeah, you also... Yep, you can just throw it at the Discord. You don't have to DM me alongside that. That's a bit much. Let's see, what else is chat been up to? Have you done the Gen 3 dupe glitch? I have no idea what that is, so no. Let's see. Alright, there was the joke from Regal. What else is chat been up to? Okay, so you're just talking about that. I find it funny certain celebs say that they missed out on learning typing because they weren't that generation. And typewriters existed for over 100 years before you were born. Actually, funny thing, the reason why our keyboard is so weird as to the keys that it's using is because typewriters, in order to ensure that they work properly, people got so fast with typing that they literally had to choose the QWERTY keyboard in order to slow them down. The QWERTY keyboard was designed to make you type slower, because typewriters just couldn't keep up with how quickly you could tap out stuff when you had, say, all of your vowels on the main row that you have your fingers on. Because, let's be honest, you're going up to E and I a fair amount, so why not have them on the base row? That whole reason is because of that. I hear a bunch of banging in the background. That is because my brother's doing dishes in the other room, and unfortunately, my office door is off its hinges while I fix it up and make it look nicer, so I can't do anything about that right now.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I don't know if you could hear that. I also turned up the gain on my mic a little bit, so the noise gate's probably all sorts of screwed up as well. What else is chat been up to? And then there was all the gaslighting about how I engaged in heresy when I know for a fact that I did not. And then Lou lying about having me dead to rights saying it, even though you look at the context, you'd see that, I was denying the heresy. Yeah, go ahead and gaslight me, you silly people. Alright, then there's all of the shenanigans involving that, and then the discussion around the Pokemon manga, so trying to sell me on that. And about how silly it was for the Japanese version especially, yep. I assume this is where Ash Greninja came from? I thought that was part of the anime, but never mind me. Let's see. Here's the Bulbapedia and all the Pokemon manga. I'll have to check that out at some point. What else is chat up to? Let's see. So then, that's where Cheetah was mentioned. If Jay can't read, then how does he play games? The world will never know. Let's see. And then Regal trying to play defense after I get called having an IQ of 5. If I had an IQ of 5, I literally wouldn't be able to function, but you are just joking, so either way. Let's see. I think it's... And then that's where I was able to look at chat for a little bit, where I caught up to looking at who's more cringe, Zeke or the cast of Fire Emblem Engage. Talking about that. Let's see. See, and then, wait. Tarja gets a Fire Emblem Fates equivalent? That's odd. I guess I'll run into that before too long. But then again, I haven't played Awakening or Fates. I only know some of the characters through the Warrior spin-off. And through Heroes. Let's see. And then talking about Regal trying to avoid getting sunburned again. Yeah, you do have to reapply every few hours. That's something that you had to I had to learn when I was a lifeguard. Missed my follow-up comment on Zeke and Engage. Let's see. Oh, here we are. Why is Zeke less cringe than the most cringe character of Engage? Zeke can be funny sometimes. Boone is creepy as hell. That's the short version. The guy does not know how to talk about literally anything other than cooking, to where he makes a ridiculous obsession out of trying to taste test literally everything, including inedible bullshit. Honestly, if you presented him with literal bullshit, he would probably try to eat it. That is the kind of character writing that exists in Fire Emblem Engage. And it is no, it is not funny. It is just weird. Let's see. Maybe Jay should change the language to Russian. Why would I do that? I'm assuming you mean the in-game language. Oh well. Actually, any language Jay doesn't know would work. Like English? Okay, calm down, Regal. Let's see, and then talking about the Donkey Kong Country cartoon. I have not seen it, so I don't have anything to say on that. Let's see. Well, we ended up running into a similar problem as trying to hold down a lever, because apparently closing a door reveals a different path. Why is this game? And then there's everybody being silly with trying to spam, as always. Jay needs more slander? No, I do not. I got it out on my phone that was just a flashing image that said call now and felt that there should have been a seizure warning. Yeah, there's all sorts of TOS breaking stuff that gets in on ads, even on places like YouTube that are supposedly safe about that. I think they're trying... Well, I read... Actually, I need to double check to see how the ad thing is going for YouTube right now, because I think they're trying to be more aggressive about stopping ad blockers, and so they might be engaging in tactics that are going to be a bit much, to put it mildly, so I need to go research that before I speak more on that. And then... Chat is something. Yep, pretty much. That we are, and don't you forget it. And then there's Gilgamesh doing the don't forget me, of course. It was me, Barry. Yes. Good call, Regal. Good meme. Good reference. Let's see. I don't know what Regal's referring to after that point. Let's see. And then... What else has been chat up to? So then Gilgamesh trying to follow up on my comments from Engage earlier. Let's see. And then I'm not sure what Lou's trying to say with that one. Try holding the button. Yeah, I don't think that necessarily helped in that case. Maybe some colors correlate to different locations. That must have been in reference to what I was just dealing with. Alrighty. I think I'm caught up. Let's see. What makes him more cringe than Zeke? Yeah, we answered that. Give him... I'm not sure what that word is. Or Mithra's cooking. Oh, God. Ugh. He'd probably find some eccentric pleasure in it, knowing him. Either that or he'd feed it to Chloe just to see what happens. Who is also cringe, but not as bad. Chloe's just literally Ingrid if she had a bubbly personality and an even greater obsession with food. And a taste for exotic food. Ugh. Oh, man. Let's see. So what Regal was saying earlier was, it's a line from Who Framed Roger Rabbit? New J-Lore. I've mentioned that I've worked as a lifeguard before, haven't I? Yeah, well. Then again, that doesn't necessarily mean you're present for every second, so... Regardless of that, it looks like that is the end of the line for what I've seen in chat, so hopefully that's everything seen too. So, that in mind, I've spent the last 2 days thrashing my voice between 2 separate streams, spending a fair amount of time talking in both of them, so I'm gonna go to bed. I'm just gonna lie down. It'll be nice. Wake up in the morning, I have nothing to worry about. And then wake up, have some fun, maybe play some Fire Emblem. At least the gameplay component of Engage is good. I just wish the story wasn't trash. It could have been so good, it's just not. Ugh. I think, actually that might be interesting. Maybe once I finish the script, maybe I post that in the Discord as an early preview, since it'll be a while before I can before I can complete it. So, I don't know. We'll see. Seekers like James from Team Rocket sometimes? Yeah, I could see that. Either way, regardless of that, I think that's where we'll call it. So, this time next week, we will be back to Riven. A little before then, I've got the channel update stream over on the review channel. I guess the main thing that you guys will be interested in is me talking about the feedback to the Tears of the Kingdom video. That ended up being fascinating to watch play out, especially with how much attention that video's gotten relative to my normal fare on the review channel. I've been quite happy with how that video's been performing. How's it doing right now? Yeah, still consistently doing better than the evergreen stuff. Oh, nice. Accumulated over 4K. Not bad. And that's, let's see, still doing pretty well after the initial hurdles, so we'll see if it ends up being like the Torchlight videos that remain evergreen for a long time, or if it ends up being more like the Stardew Valley stuff that eventually fizzles. Then again, the Nintendo news cycle will eventually get busy with whenever the Nintendo Direct drops this month. My guess is sometime the middle of the week this upcoming week. I think there was something going around that the Among Us preview for the next update might have inadvertently spoiled the Direct date. I don't know how much credence I give that. I'm trying to remember, what day does Nintendo usually do for their Directs? I think Wednesday the 19th would make the most sense, but I suppose time will tell, won't it? I suppose time will tell. Either way, hopefully the news from that will be interesting. I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about in due time. So, either way, thank you all for stopping by. That's all I've got to say. So, next time we jump into this, we'll hopefully get a better sense for what we need to worry about, and we'll see how it plays out. Till then, thank you all for stopping by once again, and I will see you all later.